All right, the Houston Texans have a decision to make, and I think they need to get on this thing. They have a player that he is under contract for another year, so you don't need to worry about it, and it's cheap too, $1.5 million. But he is extension eligible, and they have to make a decision on whether or not they want to keep him. And so, before we get into who it is and what all that's about, if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and do that. We're always trying to get more subscribers. We love doing Texans content. We started another channel, Sports Talk Detroit. You see the Hutch jersey back there, Barry Sanders there, football there, all that good stuff. But we love the NFL, and we started a channel for teams that the national media ignores. Texans being one of them. We started this almost a year ago and have been doing Texans ever since. It's been a blast. So if you want a good place for Texans content, this is it. So who's the player? What are we talking about? All right? And it is Nico Collins. So here's my question for you before I even get into what my thought process is on it. Question 1, should they re-sign Nico Collins to an extension ahead of the season, thus not allowing him to become an unrestricted free agent? Now, don't get me wrong. You got franchise tag and all that kind of stuff that you can use. But should you sign him to an extension right now, or do you wait and see what he does this year? Do you sign him to an extension right now, or do you wait to see what he does this year? Second question, how much do you pay him? Do you offer him $15 million, $18 million, $22 million, $25 million? All right? So the first thing that we have to do 3 things in this video. We got to talk about the production he had. We got to talk about how much he is worth. And then we have to make the decision on whether or not we should. So first, let's talk about the production that he had. 80 catches, 1,297 yards, 8 touchdowns. That's basically 1,300 yards and 8 touchdowns. He missed a couple of games. He was PFF's 3rd highest rated wide receiver. The only wide receivers rated higher than him via PFF were Tyreek Hill and Brandon Ayuk. And he was ahead of my boy Amon-Ra St. Brown and Justin Jefferson. And when you watch him play, that actually is about right. There's other numbers to back it up. He finished second in the league at 3.11 yards per route run. He ran a lot of deep routes, and he did them better than he ever has before. He had 130 catchable passes. He only dropped 4 of them, which is just nuts. All right. And he led the NFL with 16 broken tackles. In other words, he was a physical runner out of it. Now, does he look really good because he has C.J. Stroud throwing to him? Yeah, absolutely. But you still have to do the job. You still have to get open. So that is what he has been. He has been a stud. And I've said this over and over and over again. I've said he's Mike Evans. I've said T. Higgins. I think, honestly, it's Mike Evans, maybe better at this point. But definitely better than T. Higgins. His route running has improved. He's getting open. He has the ability to have contested catches, but he's also getting open for catches. Part of that's the scheme. He works so well in it, but he's sure-handed, and he's not what you'd expect for such a big guy to have yak yards like he does. So what do you need to pay him? All right, what do you need to pay him? Well, there's a couple of websites that do this type of thing. The first one is Spot Track or SpoTrack, whatever you want to call it, all right? And they believe he should get about a 3-year, $69 million extension, which would be a $22.9 million per year extension. So I'm going to ask the question I asked earlier in the video again. Would you re-sign him at $23 million a year? I'm leaving it up to you. I'm going to give you my opinion at the end. Don't worry. It's coming. Here's the players he's being compared to when at the age of his signing. Guys like Chris Godwin, Mike Williams, Terry McLaurin, DK Metcalf. All these guys signed the $20 to $25 million contracts. All right, the biggest of which was DK Metcalf. All right, there's another place called Over the Cap that does this. Over the Cap does a little bit different, and basically what it's saying is how much, based on his play last year, how much does he deserve, basically. And they figured he's worth about $15 million. I thought that was kind of unique. If you go down here, you see he missed, week 7. He missed week 10. He missed week 15. And by the way, that is the one concern with him is injuries. But each week, they gave him a different grade based on how well he played that week. All right. And evaluation. And it came out to be that. You don't usually see players get paid their average of what they do. Players get paid based on what the best of what they did. And you can see his best 4 games here were in that $20 to $25 million valuation range. That's kind of how I read this chart. How that's meant to be read or not, I don't know. That's how I read it. That's how I believe it should be read. All right, so here's the question. Should you re-sign him? I don't think there are many bigger Nico Collins fans out there than me. I don't think there are. I traded for him in both my fantasy football leagues. Same with Stroud. And I'm a Michigan fan. You see Harbaugh up there. We got a signed Harbaugh picture up there. I'm a Michigan fan. And so now I'm not one of those Michigan fans, though, by the way, that is just like, oh, you went to Michigan? I love you as a pro. Oh, you went to Ohio State? I hate you as a pro. In fact, quite the opposite. I really like C.J. Stroud. I liked him at Ohio State in a weird way. And I hate admitting that on this. I can't believe I said that out loud. But I loved him this year with the Texans so much that I traded for him, like I said, in both my fantasy football leagues. Never liked Tom Brady. Always loved Peyton Manning. So I'm not like the guy who it's like, oh, he went to the college, so you must have your allegiance to him. So Nico Collins doesn't get the Michigan bias for me. In fact, I've been just as amazed what you're getting out of Nico Collins as anybody else. It just proves when you put just an elite athlete, which he is, with elite size, strength, speed, hands, all of that kind of stuff. When you put him in situations where you get him open, like he was in this Bobby Slowick offense, like he can be absolutely phenomenal. He can be absolutely phenomenal. So do you re-sign him at $20 to $25 million? My response to that, no. Like, I know this sounds crazy. You don't need to do it a year early. So here's the thing. He is coming off by far his best season. By far. So chances are that he will do this again, and then it's like, okay, yeah, we'll give you 25, 26 million. No problem. It might cost you an extra 3 to 5 million a year. I get that, right? And that's not great, but it's not that much either. All right. Whereas if you re-sign him now and then he goes back toward the mean of what he was the previous 2 years, injury histories continue to pile up. There's so many different things. Oh no, now we're in trouble. Or let's say you don't sign him. He has a great year next year, right? But you can't come to an agreement on an extension, so you franchise tag him. Like, it is doable to do these things. Now, the Lions are in the same position with Amon-Ra St. Brown. And for that, I'm all in. Give him $25 million. Let's go. $25 million a year. Let's not even worry about it. Amon-Ra St. Brown has been healthy. He misses like a game a year for the first 3 games or first 3 seasons. He has been uber consistent. He's had 3 phenomenal years. Nico Collins has had 1. I say you let him prove it again. Why not? All right. But he is extension eligible. If they went out and signed him to a 4-year, $80 million contract, I will applaud that contract. I think it's a great move. I really don't think there's a wrong thing to do here. I'm just saying if you wait, it's not going to hurt you as much as signing him now and then having something go wrong. Football's a violent sport. That's just the way it works. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. We want to be your go-to spot for Texans content. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. See ya.